After a 6-game journey to California, the Twins return to Target Field tonight to launch a 9-game homestand. It starts with a weekend series against the Yankees. Phil Hughes spent his first 7 seasons with the Yankees before moving on to Minnesota. He'll try to continue what's been an impressive stretch of pitching tonight against Michael Pineda. We've been inconsistent since a 16-strikeout performance in early May. We welcome you to Twins baseball on Fox Sports North. Twins taking on a Yankees team for the first time this season that has given them trouble since they came to Minnesota. Let's set up this 3-game series. It is a homecoming for the Twins. Have been sensational at Target Field this season. The second highest win percentage in the American League. Well, the Twins have struggled with run production on their recent road trip to California. Joe Mauer did his part of the plate, hitting .364. Mauer owns the Twins' top batting average since July 1st, over .334. And after a slow start this season, Phil Hughes has been on a roll with a 4-0 record in his last 6 starts, an impressive 2.85 ERA. He'll face his former Yankee teammates tonight to have exceeded expectation, hold a 5.5-game lead in the AL East. They hope to end a 2-year postseason drought. Bronx Bombers have been powered by a pair of veterans, Mark Teixeira and Alex Rodriguez, both experiencing their best season since 2010, combining for 44 homers and 119 RBI. Up next, Dick and Roy lock in on Trevor Plouffe, the Twins' top run producer so far in July, who helped extinguish the Angels in Anaheim yesterday with one mighty swing.
Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Budweiser, make a plan to make it home. And by Chrysler, enjoy your summer in style with great deals at the Chrysler Summer Clearance event. Tonight, the Twins open up a 9-game homestand. And, of course, these homestands are growing in importance as the season wears along. Trevor Plouffe has hit very well here at Target Field. 4 home runs on the road, a couple of big ones on the last road trip that helped the Twins head home with a 2-4 road trip. And we welcome you to Target Field. Dick Bramer welcoming Roy Smalley back to the broadcast booth. I think so far this year we've all enjoyed the improvement that we've seen in All-Star Brian Dozier and the glimpses we've seen of Miguel Sano, Byron Buxton, and some others. One of the main reasons why this Twins team is in a playoff position right now is because of the continued improvement of Trevor Plouffe.
You bet it is, and it's been really, really fun to watch Trevor Plouffe mature as a hitter. As a matter of fact, as a ball player, we remember him coming up as a talented guy without a position, a guy that hit the ball out of the ballpark, but that's all he could do early in his career. Really wasn't a run producer, just a home run producer that didn't lead to RBIs. Now we have seen not only the mechanic approach at the plate, but his mental maturity, his belief in himself, and his emotional toughness. Even when he's not going well now, he as he showed on the road trip, he gets a pitch he can handle. He wins the game with a home run.
Twins taking on another first-place ball club. This time it's the New York Yankees, the first of three from Target Field coming up.
Hammered, fair and gone. Torrey Hunter with a two-run shot.
That ball is caught by Aaron Hicks with his back to the infield. A drive to left field. Are you kidding me? The most electric moment at Target Field in years. The last time the Twins had a homestand approaching this length, in retrospect, might have been the turning point of the season. It came in late April and early May. The Twins had an 11-game homestand. They went 8-3 in that homestand, got above the 500 mark, we hope, for keeps, and became suddenly a contender for a postseason berth. And this is just a 9-game homestand, but nevertheless a very important one. Phil Hughes will try to get the homestand started on the right foot. And of course, he'll be pitching against the Yankees and against his former manager, Joe Girardi. And the Menards batting order for the Yankees, who roll into Minnesota in first place in the American League East. Jacoby Ellsbury, followed by All-Star Brett Gardner, and Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira, Brian McCann, Carlos Beltran, Chase Headley, Didi Gregorius, and Stephen Drew.
And Phil Hughes on the mound for the Twins has pitched very, very well his last 7 starts. We look to get off to a good first inning against these leadoff hitters for the Yankees.
Plan 4 defense for the Twins. An outfield of Eddie Rosario, Aaron Hicks, and Torrey Hunter. Bloof, Santana, Dozier, Mauer, the infielders. Kurt Suzuki back behind the plate. 3 games with the Yankees, a couple with the Pirates, then 4 with the Mariners. Twins would like to end this homestand closer to first place than they are right now. Ellsbury on the first pitch chips it to left field. Rosario a few steps toward the line. 1 pitch, 1 out.
That's what we have seen are going to continue to see hitters do against Phil Hughes. There's no secret anymore. He's coming right at you early in the count, throwing strikes with fastballs and cutters. And I've never seen any other pitcher, or I should say any other hitter, group of hitters, swing as early and often as teams do against Phil Hughes.
And yet I think it's fair to say that what we've seen from Hughes this year is a bit of a change in approach. In his good stretch now, he's throwing more breaking balls than he did certainly in the first month and a half, 2 months of the season.
There's no question that's right. I think he's made a really nice adjustment in that way. He has tended in his career to throw everything hard, fastballs and cutters. His slow change of pace pitch now is the curveball, and he's using that more often. This is an important guy right here to get out. Brett Gardner, along with Jacoby Ellsbury, have just been unbelievable table setters for the Yankees this year. One of the main reasons for their success. But Brett Gardner hitting something like 392 in the first inning. That's usually when you try to get to a good pitcher, and he's been really good at it.
As Diaz says that hit the corner, Gardner doesn't like that call. It's 1-2. Hughes put it right down the baseline stripe just about. It's a long exchange between Gardner and Diaz. City's native Jeff Nelson will have the plate tomorrow. Tom Woodring, Corey Blazer, the rest of the crew. There's a liner. Santana. As he was coming down, the ball was coming down to meet him. 2 down. And that'll bring up Alex Rodriguez. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. And Mark Teixeira on the top of a pretty illustrious list. And Alex Rodriguez right behind him. Teixeira, some of those numbers accumulated as a member of the Texas Rangers years ago. And of course, Rodriguez with a couple of different teams. So important to face these guys with the bases empty. Rodriguez takes a ball.
I think the Yankees are as good an example of what you just said as anybody, with Ellsbury and Gardner up ahead of the 3, 4, 5 hitters. You're right, it's very important.
Tap foul, 1-1. Rodriguez does not fit the bill as a sympathetic figure in baseball circles, but kind of did have a twinge of regret for him not making the All-Star team, because his numbers were worthy enough to be there. There's a liner to center, a base hit. No one knew what to expect from Rodriguez coming into the year, with having missed most of the last 2 years for one reason or another, but he certainly put up enough numbers to warrant being an All-Star.
Fastball or a little small cutter on the outside part of the plate that got to the absolute outside end of A-Rod's bat, but he was strong enough to muscle it into center. Just a little dying quail there for a base hit.
And now Teixeira, who's rebounded from an injury-plagued season last year to put together really good numbers. And a belt-high strike. Twins face the Angels and hope they could control Mike Trout and Albert Pujols. Rodriguez and Teixeira are the 2 biggest bats that the Yankees have, hitting back-to-back third and fourth. Outside, 1-1.
Pitch right there, not too dissimilar from the one that was called a strike on Brett Gardner, and that Brett Gardner argued about pretty vociferously. But all you want as a hitter from an umpire is consistency, to know that that's either going to be a ball or a strike, but it needs to be the same.
Stop by Suzuki, 2-1.
Looks like Gardner still stewing a little bit about that call.
Line over Dozier's head to right center field. Rodriguez around second. He'll go to third. And the Yankees with 2 outs have a pair of singles. They'll bring up Brian McCann.
Well, this is Phil Hughes. I mean, he's going to throw the ball over the middle of the plate a lot. And when he's up there against good hitters, line drives happen a lot. We're still waiting for Phil to mix in some slower stuff, and he's going to have to do that against these Yankee hitters who are not only hot, but they're veteran hitters. They know what they're doing up there. They have a plan.
Brian McCann just 1 for 6 against Phil Hughes, and suddenly a first inning at bat that carries some significance here. First and third, 2 down. And up and away, ball 1. Hughes hasn't been as effective as he was a year ago, primarily because he's given up home runs. That was one of the issues he had with the Yankees in their home ballpark. Phil's given up a home run, at least one, in 8 straight starts. And a liner, foul by about a foot. And the Twins catch a first inning break.
The ball just hooked foul, got around it just a little bit, did Brian McCann. You see the ball hooking, starting over Joe Mauer's head and then hooking to the foul side of the line.
1-1. Twins with a pull shift on for McCann. Time call. You will see here at Target Field the resodding that's been done principally because of the Kenny Chesney concerts here out in center field. Grounds crew working overtime again to get this field ready to play. There's a cutter over the inside corner, and it's 1-2.
Actually, that little breaking ball right there, it's that's the first one we've seen. Is more the curveball, and he threw it hard. It was almost like a hard cutter, but 78 miles an hour, a little bit more break than the cutter, and that's the one that he needs to be able to control.
1-2 to McCann. Tap to Mauer, a fair ball, and he'll go to the bag to end the inning. The Yankees get a couple of singles, leave 2 men on, and a scoreless first. First inning. Paul Molitor hoping the Twins can put together a good home stand and pick up a little ground on the Kansas City Royals over the course of this week and a half long home stand. The Menards batting order has Brian Dozier back in the leadoff spot, back in the lineup, of course. Torrey Hunter, Joe Mauer, Miguel Sano, Trevor Plouffe, Eddie Rosario, Aaron Hicks, Kurt Suzuki, and Danny Santana.
Michael Pineda on the mound for the Yankees. Got off to a terrific start. With a little bit of a downturn here lately, but he's got great stuff, and the Twins have to work cut out if he's got his stuff that he's throwing from strikes. Hardly walks anybody.
Northland Ford defense for the Yankees. They're not as tidy as the Twins have been in the field this year. Gardner in left, Ellsbury in center, Beltran in right. Headley, Gregorius left side of the infield, Drew and Teixeira on the right side with McCann behind the plate. Brian Dozier got the day off yesterday. For that matter, so too did the on-deck hitter Torrey Hunter. It's won 3-0 to win a game in Anaheim. There's a ball dribbled to the right side. Teixeira flips to Pineda, and there's very quickly one out on the Twins side. Dozier may have tried to punch the ball through the right side of the infield. He didn't get much behind it. One down. That'll bring up Hunter. Twins haven't seen much of Pineda, but as you said, he throws strikes. Hunter, one of the few guys who's faced Pineda 3 times, 2 hits, and both of those hits home runs. And strike one.
And there's the pitch that you can look for if you're since you're watching home and watching pitches from the center field camera. That's a cutter, 92-mile-an-hour cut fastball that he just wants to stay away all the time.
There's a ball pasted to right field. Solid single to right for Hunter.
You bet, and that's exactly the game plan that the Twins hitters are going to need to have. You know he's going out there. If he comes in, it's either by mistake or just very, very rarely, and that's a good at bat by Torrey. You see the ball up and out over the plate, just go ahead and take it that way. So way back over the plate, his point of contact right here, didn't try to pull it, went right with it and hit a rocket to right field. That's good hitting, and hopefully his Twins mates are watching. Look for the ball away, hit the ball up the middle and the other way.
And now Mauer. Strike over the inside corner.
Not too many people throw a 92, 93-mile-an-hour cutter. That's a tough pitch if you're throwing a lot of strikes, especially if it's not in the middle of the plate. One of the reasons why Pineda is as successful as he's been this year so far.
Pineda, a big guy, 6'7", 260. Mauer takes down and away, 1-1.
And there's his complimentary pitch, a changeup, a little changeup that will move, as we saw there, Joe, a little bit down, a little bit away to left-handers. 89-mile-an-hour changeup, so it's not an awful lot different than his cutter, but it's effective because the cutter is running in on a left-hander and just a few miles an hour slower, and running away is that what he calls a changeup.
And Mauer with a take, 2-1. Starts for Pineda and only 15 walks. 2 walks in his last start against the Mariners. Took a loss, going just 6 innings and giving up 4 runs. Now 3-1. Pineda coming over to the Yankees from the Mariners a few years ago. Jesus Montero, the big name, if you will, going from the Yankee organization to the Mariner organization. Montero hasn't contributed at all to Seattle's fortunes, and Pineda, big part of this Yankee rotation when he's healthy. There's a strike, 3-2. Had an assortment of shoulder issues over the years. So far this year, though, 112 innings pitched. The 18 starts suggests that he has been healthy.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Torrey run here, 3-2, 1 out. Joe, unlikely to strike out against Pineda's stuff. In my mind, if I'm Paul Molitor, I bet on Joe not striking out here, putting the ball in play.
Torrey goes, and the pitch tapped to the right side. And Teixeira backpedals to the bag. Hunter in scoring position for Miguel Sano. Sano, the designated hitter again. A couple of games back in the Anaheim series, drew some walks. They're hoping that as he returns to Target Field, the hits will return to his box score. McCann to the mound. Bernansky and the Twins, the whole field staff, very impressed with Sano to this point, what he's been able to do. Showing some patience at the plate, which you don't see very often from someone in their early 20s.
You bet. And I've been amazed at how quickly opposing pitchers have shown respect with the kinds of pitches and the kinds of counts that they are pitching to Miguel Sano.
There's that first pitch breaking ball on the outside corner.
Very, very few young hitters come up, as I was talking with Tom Bernansky today, and the opposing pitchers don't even try to say, here, see if you can hit this major league fastball. They don't even go there. They start working on him like he's been a cleanup hitter for 7 years already.
Inside. Combined slugging and on base percentage of over 900. With just 49 at bats.
Yeah, 22 strikeouts, right?
Yep.
That's doing some damage when you put the ball in play, I'm going to tell you.
1-1. Ooh, strike call on the outside corner, and it's 1-2.
Well, this is just a real pitcher's pitch right here. Looks like Foxtrax has it as a ball, but it's an unhittable pitch. It's very close. 2 strikes, you can't take it. Less than 2 strikes, you just spit on that one. Hope he doesn't throw it again.
Fastball up and away, and it's 2-2. Sano in his first game hit 6th. Next game he hit 5th. And now when he's played, when he hasn't been hurt, he's hit in the cleanup spot.
Well, your quoting of statistics, on base plus slugging average, is one of the reasons why he's up there. And the other reason is when he steps in the box, it's pretty plain to everybody that he looks like he's about to do some damage. He just really looks comfortable. And when he has been struck out, it's been with really good quality big league pitches. So he doesn't look like he's at all confused up there.
How do you take that pitch? Guy's 21 years old, and he's up here, full house here against the Yankees. It's 2-2, and he took a borderline pitch. Well, some would say it was Foxtrax. Says as much.
Right,
it was strike 3. Now full count with Blue on deck. High and deep to center. Going back is Ellsbury to the wall. Gone! A home run for Sano. Number 3, and the Twins jump out in front 2-0.
Oh, the joy of being strong enough to be able to hit the ball out of the ballpark to center field or right center or anywhere in the park. 3-2. He's seen all kinds of pitches. Gets a cutter that just stays right in the middle. Didn't try to pull it. Didn't try to overswing. Just uses that good. There's good mechanics and that great strength. The ball actually even got in on him a little bit, and he knew it was gone. That's unbelievable. He hardly had the extension that anyone else in the big leagues would need to have to hit a ball out to center field.
Strike 1 to Plouffe.
Hey, the double right here. Come on, right back. Go on, Nick.
Usually, when you hit a ball out of the ballpark, especially to center field, you're going to see both arms extended and a hitter all the way straightened out in order to launch the ball that far. the swing that we saw him hit that ball, it almost looked like he was jammed. If you see, look on the left here, see his right arm? That's not extension at all.
It's pinned against his hip.
It's a beautiful, beautiful slot for his arms to be in, but it's not the extension that you would expect to see for a guy to hit the ball out of the ballpark to center field.
And now 2-1 to Plouffe. On the ground, Gregorius slings it over to Teixeira. A big 2-out hit. A big fly for Miguel Sano. It's 2-0 Twins.
Over the Yankees heading into the second inning back at Target Field. Phil Hughes is working on limiting the home runs he allows in general, but especially tonight against a team that has hit the third most home runs in baseball. His pitching coach Neil Allen told me quite simply the home run ball is something that comes with Phil's game, and what they're trying to create is a breaking ball with more depth to it, and they're also trying to get him to slow some bat speeds down with more changeups. Roy, you mentioned we haven't seen them use a lot of those secondary pitches yet, but that is something to keep an eye on tonight. And one last thing, guys, Neil Allen just said that simply these Yankees know him in and out, so they are really working on a game plan to use some more wrinkles in his normal game, try to mix things up tonight.
Thank you, Jamie. And Phil Hughes gave up just 16 home runs last year. Up and in, 2-1. All right, what's that mean to have more depth on a breaking ball?
Well, Jamie's right. The Yankee players know Phil Hughes very, very well, but they don't know the curveball, and if he'll start throwing a changeup, they don't know that one at all either. So that's really the pitch that, as we've been saying, I think that's going to be the difference maker for Phil Hughes the rest of the season. Throwing enough of those breaking balls to get guys off the fastball.
Pulled foul by inches. And that's twice the Yankees have gone down that right field line. McCann nearly got an RBI double down the line, and that ball just missed crossing the bag. Ooh,
very close.
Missed.
Yeah, very close to that front inside corner, no question about it. Any part of the ball that goes over any part of the base, and it can be a fair ball. That was just foul.
Three and two. Leadoff man of the Yankees end. It's to center, and Hicks turns his back to the infield, heading back. Underneath it now, one down. See Phil Hughes. You add the fastball and the cutter together, really, because it is a cut fastball, right?
Yep.
And what you're saying is he needs to increase the percentage of curves and changes.
I think that's absolutely right. I'd love to see the change up around the 8, 9, 10% range even, and the curveball maybe 20. I think you ought to substitute just a few fastballs and cutters for those other two.
Ball one to Chase Hadley, acquired and signed to an extension. 2-0.
There's a changeup. That's, I think, the first one we've seen tonight, especially effective to left-hand hitters.
Missing the outside corner. It's 2-0. Dozier to Mauer, 2 down. Phil's been really good over the last 6 starts. Back to the middle of June.
Yeah, can't get much better than that. 4-0 in the sub-3 ERA. He has pitched very, very well.
And that's with giving up some home runs, but in that 6-span start, he's walked only 3.
Well, that's the key. Is as your regular partner Bert Blylaman has said, it's really tougher to get beat early in ball games with a 1-run home run, and you keep guys off the bases, and the home runs you give up are solo shots. You still have a chance. Robin Roberts, one of the great Hall of Fame pitchers of all time, gave up a whole bunch of home runs too. He was around the plate all the time like Phil was.
Plouffe has no play. The ball hits the railing in front of the Yankee dugout. Robin Roberts, or a Catfish Hunter, was another one, right? Who gave up some home runs.
Yep. Guys that weren't overpowering hard, had a good enough fastball to go with their other stuff. But you know, when you're a hitter, you walk up there to the plate and you know that every pitch is going to be around the plate somewhere, regardless of what it is. It's kind of like being in the infield and knowing your pitcher's working fast and throwing over the plate. You're ready. You're ready to go. You're ready to field in the same way as with a hitter in the box. You're ready to swing the bat. You're looking for a fastball. If you get it in the middle of the plate, you're liable to hit one out.
And cracked his bat. 1-2. Hughes pitched around a couple of 2-out singles in the first. Now has a 2-0 lead.
You know, the one thing that we have not seen from Phil Hughes, I think it's safe to say, you don't have a sense that he's going to work the inside corner. He wants to throw it in, and it's always right on that corner. Or he wants to work the outside corner. It's always there. He's always throwing strikes, but it's not always on one of the corners or one or the other of the corners. There's a lot of balls in the middle of the plate, and those are going out of the ballpark. There's a nice curveball there. And what that does for a hitter is when you have a mindset to go up there and look for a fastball, and then all of a sudden you see that one, you say, wait a minute, I didn't even know he had that one. I got to fight that one off, and that makes you wait a little bit longer, and then you get more susceptible to the fastball, which is what Phil really wants to throw.
Just missed the corner. Yeah, very similar to the pitch that was called a strike to Gardner.
Yeah, I think if this ball had been higher, he might have gotten that pitch. I think the umpire called that for low.
Snared by Santana. Gregorius retired. And Hughes has a 1-2-3 second inning. for the DirecTV standings. Best records in the American League entering play tonight. Twins just left the first place ball club in Anaheim, taking on another one here in the New York Yankees. Astros would have the first wild card spot, and the Twins would have the second wild card spot. A lot of baseball yet to be played. Yankees in an enviable spot because everybody else in the division right now has got some issues just trying to get above the 500 mark. Here's Rosario starting the second, and there's strike one. You know, for a while it looked like Baltimore was ready to take off. Tampa Bay was a great story early in the season in the American League East. Toronto just seems to be bobbing to the surface above the 500 mark, then a couple losses taking them below. Got a piece of the catcher McCann. Boston's had problems throughout. And so the Yankees just generally have taken charge in the American League East almost by default.
Well, it's by default, and through the efforts of the first 5 hitters in the lineup. There's no question about it that the combination of Jacoby Ellsbury and Gardner getting on base, and then Alex Rodriguez and Teixeira driving in runs like they're going out of style.
Well, flare short left. Gardner coming in. Gregorius going out, and he drops the ball. Rosario to second base, and he'll reach safely. And now 3 Yankees scramble to cover third base. Gregorius got there, and the ball hit him right in the middle of the glove but bounced out.
Tough play for a shortstop. Ball probably should have been caught, could have been caught. But very nice base running by Eddie Rosario, not spectating whether or not the ball is going to drop, but running hard all the way. Hits a little flare. You see, Gregorius gets a really good jump on it, and then jumps. I think he overran the ball just a little bit. Watch his glove go back behind his head just a little, and that's what hit him in the heel of the glove. They just overran it just a little bit, and then couldn't bring it into the middle of his glove. Hit the heel and bounced out. Eddie Rosario running hard all the way. Had an easy double.
Ray hit a ball to right field yesterday in Anaheim. Kind of hesitated between first and second. Was originally ruled safe, and the Angels challenged it, and he was ruled out at second base. Here's Hicks, corner infielders up, and Rosario at second, nobody out. Inside, ball one. .44 at bats for Hicks, and just 9 runs batted in. He's got a chance to drive one in here with a hit to the outfield. Out in front of the changeup, 1-1.
I like to see that from this young guy right here. Go up there and look for a fastball that he can drive to his pull field with a runner on second. There's not a lot of downside. He's going to hit the bat head out in front, either get the run in or the runner over to third. So with no strikes on him yet, go ahead and cheat on that fastball. It turned out to be a changeup. Now he can back off the speed just a little bit, but I like the aggressiveness.
Rosario dances off second and distracts Pineda.
The one thing, the real improvement we've seen from Aaron Hicks this tour of duty this year has been his aggressiveness from both sides of the plate, but especially left-handed. Looks like a different hitter than he ever did when he was up here before. Doesn't take as many pitches, has good swings with 2 strikes.
Pop straight up in the air. Headley now gives way to Gregorius. And an unproductive out for Hicks, 1 down. And that will bring up Kurt Suzuki. Just the little things that Twins need to do a better job of, at least until they start getting 12-14 hits a game. Take advantage of the situations you've got, such as a leadoff double. Hicks did not advance the runner. We'll see what Suzuki can do here. Twins struggled to score runs, and the A's pitching staff and the Angels pitching staff had a lot to do with that. And it can turn on a dime, and maybe, you know, coming home, playing at Target Field will help things turn for the Twins. They've already got 2 runs on the board and have 3 hits. The Astros went into the break on a similar stretch as the Twins had coming out of the break. really a terrible time scoring runs. And then out of the break, the Astros, playing at home principally, were able to start scoring runs in bunches again, getting some dramatic hits like the walk-off home run by Altuve yesterday. 1-0 to Suzuki. Step off. Stephen Drew, the second baseman, trying to keep Rosario close at second. Up the middle, base hit. Rosario waved around third. Here is the throw from Ellsbury, not in time. And Suzuki with an RBI single. It's 3-0.
Well, we talked at the top of the show at the beginning of the game, right from the first inning when Torrey Hunter hit the ball to right field. The way I think you have to go at Michael Pineda is to look for the ball out over the plate and go up the middle and the other way. I watched Kurt Suzuki take batting practice. He was looking for the ball out over the plate. He hit up the middle and the other way. Gets a chance to do it in the ball game and delivers. Nice read by Rosario on line drive up the middle. This kid can run pretty well. Does a nice job of scoring that run. But a really nice at bat, right according to plan by Kurt Suzuki.
And now Danny Santana. 4 hits in 8 at bats for the Twins. 3 early runs. Strike on the outside corner.
There we see it again. Michael Pineda wants to live on the outside part of the plate. Even the left-handers, he's throwing straight fastballs, even cutters to the back door there, change-ups to left-handers, everything away. When he comes in, it's almost a mistake every once in a while. And the same thing with right-handers. He's away with mostly cutters.
Tapper right side. Suzuki gains second base. And Santana retired. 2 down. That'll bring up Brian Dozier. Dozier, the first pitch of the first inning, with a weak ground ball to Teixeira.
We saw Tom Bernansky talking to Brian just a minute ago where he had that shot in the dugout, and Brian hit that ball off the end of his bat, and I think Tom was telling him, now I know you want to hit the ball in left field seats, but he's going to throw that cutter away, and if you want him off the end of your bat, you got to go that direction. You got to go up the middle and to right center.
Dozier takes a strike in the outside corner.
I wonder if there's anybody in baseball now, after watching Dozier in the first half, right through the All-Star game at bat, does anybody want to throw Brian a fastball on the inside part of the plate? If they do, I don't know what they're going to watch.
But if that's going to be how they adapt to Brian, then now it's Brian's turn to adapt to them.
And I think that's exactly what Bruno was talking to him about.
High, and it's 1-1. Dozier wanted to play yesterday. He was told Saturday night he probably would get the day off, or Wednesday night, that he would probably get Thursday's game off. Showed up at the ballpark yesterday and said, you know, I'm okay, I'm ready to go. And Paul Molitor said, that's nice, but we're going to give you a day off. Foul back. And if you're a manager and you relied so much on Dozier's hitting and Hunter's hitting, and you take them both out in the same game
and come away with a 3-0
win.
That's beautiful.
1-2 to the Twins' second baseman.
Way to go, Ervin Santana, and that man, Trevor Plouffe, for that one yesterday. What a performance by Santana.
Popped up, back, and has no play. Still 1-2. Well, in addition to everything else, the Twins have made Pineda work a little bit here. 10 at bats through 2 innings, and 33 pitches thrown. Hughes with some early run support. Something he did not have in his last start. Pitched 7 innings, gave up 1 run on a home run, and wasn't involved in the decision. Cubs ended up losing that ball game 3-2. This one near the Twins dugout. McCann has room here. He makes the play to end the inning. A leadoff double and a 1-out single. And it's 3-0. Phil Hughes will take the mound with a 3-run lead. A 3-0 Twins lead, a 2-run first inning, a 1-run second inning, and now Phil Hughes will go to work against Stephen Drew, leading off the Yankee third. And over the inside corner, strike 1. Drew's been a big disappointment, as those numbers would tell you. 12 home runs, 26 runs batted in, but just a .180 batting average. 1-1. Then Ellsbury, then Gardner. Popped up, right side. And Dozier still in the skin of the infield for the first out. Good first trip through the Yankee batting order for Phil Hughes. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NorthDataStrongFan, and you might just see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. You're seeing Roy Smalley in this broadcast because Bert Blyleven is in Cooperstown for the Hall of Fame induction this weekend, and we're happy to have Roy with us. Jamie Hirsch with us as well. Jack Morris, Tom Hanneman on the pregame show. Strike 1 to Jacoby Ellsbury. And up, ball 1. Off the outside corner. Twins have played one more game than the Yankees and have scored 38 fewer runs.
Now they got the short porch.
on the ground. The mound has that ball deflected over towards Santana. The ball came up on him a little bit. He stayed with it this time. Out number 2. You can spend your summer here at Target Field and become a Twins season ticket holder with the new Pick 10 plan. You pick 10 games that are left on the schedule this year and enjoy sweet spot benefits exclusive to Twins season ticket holders, including 10% off game day food and merchandise at Target Field. Learn more about package options by visiting twinsbaseball.com/pick10 or by calling 612-33-TWINS. 6 in a row sent down by Hughes. Here's Brett Gardner. Now you hit in the old Yankee Stadium, both as a visiting player and as a hometown player when the Twins dealt you to the Yankees. It was a pretty cozy right field porch in the old ballpark too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was a really good hit. I like the play.
1-1. Last year, early in the season, Phil Hughes made a start against the Yankees. And Paul Molitor said today they saw something in Phil Hughes in the very first inning at Yankee Stadium last year that they hadn't seen before or since. Phil really was fired up, and it was noticeable in the velocity of his fastball. When you get adrenaline going and an extra rush of adrenaline, as Phil did that night, it was reflected in how hard he was throwing. Tap to the right side, foul. Phil had one good start, one bad start against the Yankees.
He was fired up for that game in the Yankee Stadium, and he pitched great. It was really fun to watch him pitch that well, not only for the Twins' sake, but also for his. Every guy that leaves a team, they go back there, and the fans hadn't treated him real well. And you want to go back there and stick it to him a bit, and he certainly did that.
2-2. Drill foul. Wicked hop off the warning track up into the crowd. A near sellout crowd tonight. They're saying that tomorrow's game will sell out. Sunday's game will sell out if they haven't already. Hughes puts the glove down. It gets a hot first hop. Gardner looks over his left shoulder at his former teammate. Says, "What in the world are you doing taking a hit away from me?"
And Phil wouldn't be able to explain that.
Torrey Hunter will lead off the bottom of the third. Sports North is presented by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealer. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Oriana to lead off the third inning. Joe Mauer, Miguel Sano will follow. Had a couple of runs in the first, added a run in the third. That first pitch, cutter, whatever it is, breaking right to left from Pineda's perspective, over for strike one. Tapper in front of Headley. One down. Sanford Health injury report tonight. Former Twin Michael Kadire, left knee pain, tried to play for a while, couldn't. The Mets, who are sorely in need of some offense, traded for Juan Uribe today, in part because of the absence of Michael Kadire. Mets really scuffling to score runs, and yet above the 500 mark, trying to stay in the mix in the National League.
We have that kind of starting pitching that they've developed now. You can stay above 500. Those guys are really good.
Mauer takes strike one on the outside corner. Mauer with a grounder to first, his first time up. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Two strikes to Mauer with one gone in the third. Foul wide of third. Pineda looking for his 10th win of the year. Three different seasons of an assortment of shoulder issues. Tapper right side, easy play for Stephen Drew. Two down. That'll bring up Miguel Sano, who homered in his first at bat.
And a terrific at bat it was. As we look at each pitch in the at bat, he takes a look at that cutter that Pineda features for the first pitch. Pineda shows him one inside, but has no real desire to come in there. Throws it outside, takes a pitch up and away, and then takes a pitch right on the borderline. Good plate discipline, and then he gets a ball he can handle. A cutter right in the middle. Now look on the right side. You see that right elbow tucked right in there on his belt. That's such a perfect hitting mechanics. He just didn't quite get extended the way most normal humans need to get extended to hit the ball over the center field fence. But this young man, because he was in a good position to hit and because he's so doggone strong, he literally muscled that ball under the grass in center field.
One strike to Sano. Miss. One thing you notice from Sano when you're watching batting practice, and I think we just saw it in his first inning at bat, the average player, the ball goes on that trajectory and it comes down. His continues to carry.
Yep.
And swing and a miss. He's gone quickly, and the Twins are gone quickly in the third as they go down 1-2-3. culture of the Ojibwe band at the Mille Lacs Indian Museum and Trading Post. You can visit exploreminnesota.com and discover a world that's only in Minnesota. Tag your Minnesota experiences with hashtag #OnlyInMN. You can learn how to make moccasins, porcupine jewelry, applique beading, and kids craft in classes. You can watch cooking demonstrations of traditional Ojibwe food. I knew porcupines were good for something, but I didn't know it was for jewelry. Strike one. Alex Rodriguez will lead off the fourth inning. Teixeira and McCann will follow. Slow breaking ball hits the corner, and it's 0-2.
That's a very nice pitch right there. Now the hitter's 0-2. He's seen a fastball that he wants to hit and a curveball that he doesn't want to hit. Didn't even think Hughes could get it over. Now what's he going to get now? Puts doubt in his mind.
Missing low. 1-2. Miss the inside corner with the cutter.
Yeah, that's the pitch that Phil and Kurt Suzuki really want. That front door cutter. Front door meaning starting inside on a right-handed hitter and coming back on the corner. You see Foxtrax has just missed.
Foxtrax presented by Chrysler. 2-2. Teixeira and McCann will follow. And now a full count.
And that's too bad. That's the pitch he wanted right there. He had him set up for that pitch. Wanted to throw it on the outside corner. If he throws it on that corner, I think he gets him. He couldn't throw it for a strike. Kind of lets Rodriguez back in the count, back into the bat and the count here.
Got him looking. Came back inside to get the corner.
Really, really good pitch. Showed him that. Tried to get the the front door cutter inside the first time, and now comes in. A-Rod took it the first time, said it was inside. Breaks back in. This time he gets the call. And you watch A-Rod, he said, "Yep, you beat me. I knew you had that pitch, and I just couldn't pull the trigger."
There's Teixeira, and there's ball one. Could have been ball four, but it was strike three. And it's remarkable that the man has pitched now nearly 330 innings as a Minnesota Twin. And he has walked 28 guys.
It is remarkable. There's not much you can say about that, but wow.
3-0 now to Teixeira. He narrowly missed walking Rodriguez, and he falls behind Teixeira 3-0. Down the middle of strike. $12 walks issued this year by Hughes.
Needs to make a good pitch here. Teixeira sitting all over fastball. Ooh.
Fouled back 3-2.
He got it, missed it. Teixeira was looking for that exact pitch and fouled it back. Had a good swing at it. You can tell when the ball's fouled hard, relatively straight back. The guy's got the big end of the bat right to the ball. He just was a little bit underneath it by fractions of an inch.
Dozier has it skip under his glove. Went into the slide, and he dug up some turf. Now, the part that he dug up is the original turf here, not the stuff that has been sewn in to the outfield here. And Dozier, seen him make that play so many times, you're surprised when a ball gets by him.
Yeah, you see him go into the slide right here, and the ball kind of skidded on him, and he's mad right there. Actually, I think he was reacting to his ankle jamming into the grass. The ball skidded on him.
Now McCann. Yep. McCann hit a ground ball to Bauer right up the line for the third out of the first inning. Outside, ball one. Unlike Mike Pelfrey or certainly Kyle Gibson, Phil Hughes doesn't get too many ground ball double plays, just 9 on the year. 1-0. Way out in front.
Good pitch there, changeup, and already it feels like Phil has thrown more changeups than he normally does and is starting to feel comfortable with it. But that's such a good pitch, especially to a left-handed hitter, left-handed pull hitter who sees a fastball for ball one, is ahead in the count, really thinking it's a fastball he can pull, and then gets the string pulled on him and he's out in front of it. That's a nice pitch by Phil.
High fly, right center field. Hicks drifting back, still going back, still going back, and making the catch on the warning track of number 2. Bring up Beltran. You can take your family to the ballpark this summer in the Minnesota Twins Our Family section, presented by Fox Sports North. Tickets in this alcohol-free section start at just $10 and include a free Schweigert hot dog and Pepsi. For ticket information, visit foxsportsnorth.com and click on upcoming events on the Hot Topics bar. Here's Beltran with a runner on and 2 out. Popped up left side, only one infielder there. And Plouffe across the line puts it away. A 1-out single, no damage done. 4 shutout innings for Phil Hughes.
Sano with a long bomb to center field on a pitch he didn't really get all the extension on. Put the Twins up 2-0. Then Kurt Suzuki with a great at bat lines a single to center field to score Eddie Rosario, who had doubled. Those are 3 runs for the Twins so far, and through 4 innings, Phil Hughes has been very, very good pitching the Yankees.
And now Trevor Plouffe will lead off the 4th inning, followed by Rosario and Hicks.
Miguel Sano right there. What I like about, another amazing thing about him.
Up the middle and into center field. Plouffe aboard with a leadoff single.
Yep, look for the ball out over the plate, hit the ball up the middle. Nice at bat by Trevor too. I was just to finish the thought on Sano. Here's a 21-year-old kid that's not playing a position. They brought him up. He's a designated hitter. He's doing all this as a designated hitter. And I'll tell you, most of us don't know how to go about being a designated hitter when you're 21 years old. You learn that after you've been a hitter, a position player hitter for a while.
Paul Molitor talked about his hesitancy to become a designated hitter. Alex Rodriguez went through it with the Yankees.
Right.
He maintained in spring training that he wanted to be the 3rd baseman for the Yankees, even though the Yankees spent a lot of money on Chase Headley to be their 3rd baseman. Rosario with a base hit to right. Plouffe around second, on his way to 3rd. Rosario digging for second. The throw from Beltran. Not in time. Rosario's 2nd double of the game.
Nice job of hitting, nice job of base running by Eddie Rosario. That's exciting stuff. A really good gamble, I think. 3-0 lead, nobody out. Take a gamble on getting yourself to second base with nobody out. Even if you're out there, you're just one out and a runner on third, you can still get the fourth run in for your team without having to get a hit. So it's a nice gamble, a nice time to gamble for Eddie Rosario, and he gets in there safely, sets up the Twins very, very well. Second to third, nobody out. Now with 2 productive at bats, they can get 2 runs without getting a hit. Ground ball to second base, fly ball to center, and you've got you got a 5-run lead without having to get a hit. I hope Aaron Hicks gets a hit, but you don't absolutely need that.
Foul on the first pitch. Twins in ambush mode here. That was just the 3rd pitch of this inning. Plouffe singled on the first pitch. Rosario doubled on his first pitch, and Hicks fouls the first pitch from Pineda. Hicks was up in an RBI spot in the second. Rosario had blooped a double to left off the glove of Gregorius, and Hicks popped up to short without advancing the runner. Here he's, as Roy said, got virtually a free RBI if he can just simply hit a ground ball to either Gregorius or Drew. Instead, he strokes it to right. And a leaping catch by Beltran. A sacrifice line drive for Hicks. Not only does Plouffe score, but Rosario alertly stayed near the bag so he could go to third.
Well, a lot of really good things happened right there. Eddie Rosario ran that play absolutely perfectly, being on second with nobody out. Aaron Hicks with a really good at bat. Watch, he hits here. Watch where Rosario, we lose him right there. Beltran makes a nice catch, but Rosario knows that this play is going to be tough enough. He's going to wait and see if it gets over his head so he can score if the ball drops. But if it doesn't drop, he's close enough to second that he can retreat, tag up, and get to third. And the result of all that is that Aaron Hicks gets one of them in, one of them over, and now Kurt Suzuki can get the 5th run in, as we said earlier, without having to get a base hit.
With the infield in, and he pops it up. And the Twins dugout, now to play 1 strike. Kurt's had a terrible time really all year long consistently squaring balls up, as hitters like to say, hitting the ball with the fat part of the bat, the barrel of the bat, hitting it squarely. And he certainly did that in his second inning at bat. Whistling line drive right over the cap of Pineda. Hicks nearly got a 2-run double, and instead will be satisfied with a sacrifice fly.
And if Kurt stays with his approach, looking for the ball out over the plate, middle to outer corner of the plate, and hit the ball to center, right field, he's got a real good chance of getting this run in too. If he doesn't try to pull the ball, where he'll be vulnerable to a lot of different pitches, if he tries to hit the ball to center, the ball tends to go in the air. You tend to square it up a little bit better. You don't get fooled.
Swing and a miss. 0-2. Magic of Target Field. It's nice to see it again. 6 games in the road trip, and the Twins scored in a total of 6 innings. And they've already scored in 3 different innings here in this game. Oh, 2 to Suzuki. To center. A base hit. Suzuki's got 2 knocks and 2 runs batted in. On an 0-2 pitch, Suzuki gets the job done, and it's 5-0.
Fine at bat by Kurt Suzuki once again. Lining that ball at 2-strike pitch. He was trying to go, Pineda was trying to go away, left the ball high and over the middle of the plate. Kurt not trying to pull it. 2-strike, protecting the plate. And that's what I was saying. That's going to be a sacrifice fly if Ellsbury gets to it. When you tend to hit the ball to center field, trying to hit the ball to center, you can hit the ball in the air for the sacrifice fly much easier than if you're trying to pull. That was a really good at bat by Suzuki.
Swing and a miss. It's a welcome sight that this team plays so much better at home, given the fact that this team averaged incredibly 49 losses at home for the last 4 years. They have 7 hits, and they haven't wasted one yet. Every hit has contributed to a run. 2 hits, 2 runs in the first, a double knocked in with a single in the second, and now 3 hits and 2 more runs here in the fourth. 1-1 to Santana.
A really productive out by Aaron Hicks.
Yep. On a well hit ball. Foul over by the Yankee dugout. Santana with a ground ball to second, his first time up. In the dirt, 2-2. Houston has a lead over Kansas City in the fourth inning, 4-0. Kansas City, the team the Twins are chasing. Two and 2. Santana strikes out, 4 out, number 2. Bring up Dozier.
Well, nasty pitch right here by Pineda, but again, Danny just a little bit off, a little bit out over his front foot, a little bit pull conscious. It looked like that was a nasty pitch, but with 2 strikes, not the best approach right there, trying to protect against something down and away. But I will tell you, having said all that, it's not that easy, and that was a nasty, nasty pitch. It really was.
Outside, ball 1. Pineda had a 1-2-3 third, but he's been in trouble in every inning but the third inning. Strike, 1-1.
You look at the Yankee outfield there. I'll make a comment about that in just a second. That's very interesting to me, the way that the Yankee outfield is playing Brian Dozier. You see the left fielder Gardner pretty well off the line and left. Ellsbury playing right of straightaway center. I think we would consider Brian Dozier a pull hitter. I mean, we've seen him hit the ball, countless balls down the left field line into left center and in the seats. I think that's an indication of how they're planning to pitch him right there. They're just going to stay away, stay away, stay away. And that staying away got it.
A little bit of an ambush in the fourth and 2 more Twins runs. capacity crowd here. Here's a look at our Pepsi fans of the game tonight, enjoying a 5-0 Twins lead. Chase Headley will lead off the fifth. P.D. Gregorius and Stephen Drew will follow. Missing inside, ball one. Headley with a ground ball to Dozier his first time up. Now looks like he's going to do the same thing. Dozier picks it up, throws on the run, one down. So far, just 3 harmless singles allowed by Phil Hughes. Join us August 1st for a DQ Sensational Sunday. The Twins taking on the Mariners, and the first 10,000 fans get a 1965 vintage bobblehead presented by Quick Trip. Go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets. Get your tickets today. A lot of fun activities, including a breakfast Friday with most of the members of that 65 American League Championship Ball Club. Twins have done a nice job rounding up the crew, bringing them in for a fun weekend. There'll be an on-field ceremony on Saturday, and the bobblehead giveaway is on Sunday. Now, you were out in California.
Really fun to see those guys.
You were out in California in 1965. You were rooting for the Dodgers, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I was born and raised in L.A. and a Dodger fan. But I will say,
flip foul,
that because of that World Series and you know, becoming so familiar with that Twins team and being so impressed with how good they were, you know, I followed them, you know, ever since. Of course, when I came here to play for the Twins, got a chance to meet and get to know all those guys, a lot of those guys, and just great guys, great team. It'll be fun to have them all here.
2 strikes to Gregorius. Bouncer to short. Santana has the play. 2 down. I thought you were going to say because of the 1965 World Series, you were able to then find the state of Minnesota on the map.
I was very aware of Tony Oliva and Harmon Killebrew and Bob Allison. Believe me, I didn't have any trouble knowing where the Twins were.
You know, and I remember, and it's a long time ago, but I was very much a Twins fan back in 1965, and the games were all played during the daytime. Yep. And the only ones, and as I recall, the games or the series started in the middle of the week, and the only games I was able to watch were the weekend games that were in Los Angeles. And I remember coming home at the end of the World Series, and our teacher would not let us watch the game or even listen to the games while we were in school. And running home in Dumont, Minnesota from school to home to find out whether the Twins won the World Series game or not. Royce, I have to tell you, that was 4 blocks. I ran all the way across town to get home to see whether the Twins won. It was 4 blocks. And of course, I was heartbroken when I found out, you know, that the Twins lost Game 7. And it really was, by the time the school day ended, the length of games in that World Series were, you know, average just over 2 hours per game.
Right.
There's a pop up to center. And this will go down as Phil Hughes' easiest inning so far. He's had 3 1-2-3 innings, and he's got 5 shutout innings against the Yankees.
NLCS Series opener. I'm Jamie Hirsch inside the Minnesota Lottery Winners Circle with Katrina, who is originally from upstate New York, but has lived in Minnesota long enough to become a Twins fan. Is that right?
Yes, almost 40 years.
Now, were you originally a Yankees fan growing up?
Never. Not at all.
That a girl.
No way.
All right. Well, they drove all the way from Montevideo to be here tonight with their family. We're going to give you $100 worth of scratch-off tickets courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
Wonderful. Thanks.
And one more note, guys. It is her birthday and her nephew's birthday as well. They actually celebrated it yesterday, so congrats to you.
Please do. Happy birthday. Go Twins.
Very nice. Celebrating your birthday at the ballpark. Corey Hunter leading off the 5th inning.
I was thinking about that earlier. Dick, sorry to interrupt you, but speaking of celebrating birthdays, is there a better place to be on a Friday night with this kind of weather and this beautiful ballpark and the Yankees in town? This is just heaven.
Again, we've got the near sellout crowd here tonight, and expect to sell out tomorrow and Sunday. The Pirates coming in, they're a good baseball team.
Yes,
they are.
Games,
and then the Mariners coming in, and they've got the home team playing good baseball, plus all the festivities surrounding the '65 World Series. 2-1 to Hunter. By the way, I had to look it up real quick. The 7 games of the 1965 World Series were completed in 16 hours and 20 minutes.
Or in other words, a normal 3-game stint now.
And that's down the line, and it's going to twist foul. When you look at the time of the games, and of course that happens when you're facing the likes of Koufax and Drysdale and Grant and Cotton.
You're right. I mean, both pitching styles of both teams just in that series, phenomenal pitchers and low-scoring games, great ball games.
The winning pitcher in all 7 games went the distance. One relief. There wasn't a save. There wasn't a hold. There was none of that. Hunter swings and misses and strikes out to start the 5th inning. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Boys and Girls Clubs help young people reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens through programs that promote character and leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and more. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com, and that's a perfect opportunity to bring up the event that you've been involved with for a number of years. You and Tim Laudner are both co-chairing a celebrity waiter event at Capitol Grill Sunday.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. It's a great event. Every year it's the 9th annual Twin Celebrity Waiter event. It's my 4th year being involved, and Tim and I are co-hosting this year.
Wonderful hour. The food's great. The experience is wonderful. You've got the Twins players, former Twins players, serving as waiters.
Yeah, you get a great Capitol meal, 4-course meal. You get the Twins players serving it to you. Get to schmooze with them. It's a boatload of fun. It really is. We have a blast every year. And there are some seats still available. To purchase tickets, just go to boysandgirlsclub.org/celeb-dinner. There are some. We're about sold out, but the more the merrier. We'd love to have everybody that'd like to come down.
Nice memorabilia that's been collected. That's up for a silent auction.
We have silent auction, some great live auction items. And as Timmy Laudner says, when you're a really, really bad server, they make you a co-host.
2-2 to Mauer.
Brian Dozier will be there. Torrey Hunter will be there. Just a bunch of their teammates. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Squirted foul. Pineda with 3 straight strikeouts. He struck out Santana and Dozier to end the 4th. And now Hunter to start the 5th. Outside. Full count.
Trying to backdoor that little breaking ball. Left outside. Try to stay away. I'm sorry, that was a mistake. He was trying to go away with that cutter. You could see the catcher McCann flick his finger to the outside part. He kind of overthrew that pitch, and as a result, threw it harder and more inside. You see the target on the outside corner. He's trying to backdoor the cutter, and he really threw it hard and ran in. Tried to overthrow it, and he kind of cut across it like that. It went in and harder than he normally throws.
A couple of times in the fourth inning that Pineda was off with his location by quite a bit. Full count. Bauer drives it. Foul. You can see by the perspiration, not just on Pineda's face, but he has perspired through his jersey. It's a hot and muggy evening here at Target Field, and the heat and mugginess will continue through the weekend.
Yeah, I see the sweat. I was looking for the pine tar.
Out there with it, he's doing a better job
it's better
hiding it than putting it on his neck. Another one driven foul. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, last year Pineda was suspended for putting pine tar on his neck. Farrell, the Boston manager, had to do something because it was so evident. Every game's on television, just about every game, and he had a big brown swatch on his neck.
Yeah, it was like one of those golf tournaments where a fan calls in and said, "Hey, he broke the rules. The ball moved." You're right. He had to do something because everybody in America was watching the game could see that he had a foreign substance somewhere on his person.
10 pitches in this at bat, which, if you do the math, means Mauer's fouled off 5 2-strike pitches.
Well, Joe can do that. I'm sorry.
McCann went out to try to, let Pineda kind of collect himself a little bit. These are exhausting at bats. He's throwing everything he's got at Mauer, and Mauer's gotten a piece of everything. With chopper, Pineda fires high, and Teixeira's able to pull it down.
Gold glove first baseman over there.
Pineda finally wins the battle, but he nearly threw it into foul territory.
Well, it made me laugh when Joe hit that ball. And if he was tired from the bat, meaning Pineda, then Joe made him work really hard to go around and get that ball. He didn't get a break there with that out.
Now Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, comes out to try to give Pineda a breather. Boy, he looks hot, doesn't he? I mean, it's a hot, muggy night. He's gotten a couple of breaks here in this inning. The Twins haven't even had a base runner against him in the fifth. Two down, and that'll bring up Sano, hitting the home run to center field in the first. Struck out on 3 pitches in the third.
You can see the ball strike ratio from Michael Pineda. He doesn't walk anybody. He's got one of the best ball strike ratios in baseball.
Down and in, ball 1. And another comeback. And a better throw. Sano retires. The Twins go down 1-2-3. remembering that the Twins pitched a shutout yesterday in Anaheim. Santana giving the Twins 8 innings. Glenn Perkins pitching a scoreless night. Well, the Twins on a bit of a roll here. They'd love to get this homestand started on the right foot. So far, so good as we go to the 6th. Ellsbury, Gardner, and Rodriguez will hit for the Yankees.
I think this is a real big inning right here. I think if Phil can get through Ellsbury and Gardner right here and keep them off the bases, get his club in the dugout here in this inning, it's going to be very, very big.
Ellsbury with a fly to left and a ground ball to short, 1 strike. No big headline making deals today in advance of the trade deadline, but Steve Cishek, former closer for the Marlins, was picked up by the Cardinals today. Cishek had been sent down to the minor leagues. Pulled to the right side, and that is a foul ball. 2 strikes. I'm curious how busy teams will be. What we've seen just within the last week in baseball. We've seen some teams in the American League East, like Baltimore, really struggle. A couple games below 500. Boston's a lost season for them. Tampa Bay now below 500. And while they've been struggling, the Yankees have propelled themselves forward, so there's a little gap. And so maybe that makes a team like Baltimore more of a seller than a buyer. Detroit below 500. Cleveland and Chicago, kind of a lost season for them. Maybe there will be more sellers out of the American League Central.
Boy, I got to believe that the Baltimore Brain Trust with Buck Showalter and the general manager there in Baltimore, they've got to look at their personnel and say, we've got to run in this, don't we? I mean, they've got some really nice players over there.
Outside, not 2-2.
Hard to imagine at this point in time they'd say, okay, we're not going to do anything the rest of the year. You look at Chris Davis, really hasn't gotten untracked yet. Machado's having a great year. Just seems like they would think they've got a run coming to them somewhere.
Soft liner, and Dozier's there to retire Ellsbury. And then you look at the American League West, and really just 2 teams there, Los Angeles and Houston.
Yep.
Rangers 4 games below. Mariners 8 games below. Oakland's already started the fire sale when they dealt Kazmir yesterday.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup by Houston. I think they have a chance, and they got a frontline starter. That was a nice pickup by them.
Kazmir starting for Houston against the Royals tonight. So as recently as a week ago, when there was a little more congestion, I thought it might be a seller's market because so few teams were in sell mode. That one bounces over Dozier's glove. He's had a tough time. He's had some tough chances over there, but we've seen him make those plays, one to his right and one to his left. A 1-out single here in the 6th. Our Soup.com trivia question: who are the only 3 switch hitters to lead the American League in home runs? Now, you had that great first half in '79. Were you? I know you didn't at the end, but were you leading the league in home runs?
I don't think I was. I was close. I had 15 at the break, and I think that was close, but I don't think it was leading the league. Donnie Baylor had a phenomenal year that year. Was the MVP of the league. I'm guessing he had more than that.
To center, and Hicks retreats. Phil Hughes has given up some deep fly balls to center, but like any good pitcher, he's gotten them to hit the ball to center. 2 down. Well, let's think about that trivia question. Mantle's got it, right?
Eddie Murray.
But I don't know.
I don't know
whether Eddie ever led the league. We're going to give it to Sheriff. This is American League now, so we're not talking about.
Yep. I think he did.
Pull shift on for Teixeira. Bauer snags a line drive to end the inning. Some well hit balls here in the 6th. But Hughes comes off the mound with 6 shutout innings.
Nice play by Joe. He's an athlete. Teixeira saying, stop it.
Drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's. With $1.69 iced coffees and 69-cent vanilla cones, you can get Totes treats excited all summer long at McDonald's. Bottom of the 6th with the Twins up 5-0. Trevor Plouffe will lead things off. He takes outside, ball 1. Twins found out in the first 2 games of the series with the Angels how valuable leadoff hits can be. The Angels just peppered the ball all over the field to get some leadoff hits, and as a result won the first 2 games. Now here tonight, the Twins have a couple of leadoff hits. Rosario with a pop fly double in and out of the glove of Gregorius in the 2nd. Plouffe led off the 4th with a single, and that led to a 2-run inning. Whatever it does to the lineup to have that leadoff man on, it does just the opposite to the guy on the mound. And we've seen that when Mike Pelfrey has struggled. When the first guy in the inning gets on, it just tends to really make the pitcher struggle. There's Brandon Pinder warming up. 2-1 to Plouffe.
Well, it just stands to reason. I mean, you only get 3 outs, and if you get somebody on before you've gotten any of them yet, it's easier to get them around there if there's an out or 2 before. It's hard to hit in the big leagues. It's hard to string hits together. And the earlier you get guys on in an inning where you have an extra out or 2 to continue to try to get the hits, the easier it is, obviously.
Well, that's what made the win yesterday so ironic. The Twins scored their 3 runs after a 2-out double, a 2-out walk, and a 2-out home run. After watching the Angels get the leadoff man on so many times. 3-2 to Plouffe, leading off the 6th. Driven foul down the right field line.
Yeah, that was an interesting way to win a ball game. It really was. Garrett Richards just such good stuff. The Twins hitters were sitting around the dugout today before the game talking about what good stuff he has, maybe as good as any in the league, and he gave up a double and then 2 mistakes. He walked a hitter and got Trevor Plouffe 0-2 and hung a breaking ball, and that was the ball game. Just like that, another 2-strike hanger right there.
Second hit for Plouffe, this for extra bases.
That's what's been really nice, as we talked about in the opening of our show. No matter what's going on with Trevor, whether he feels like he's struggling a little bit or he's having a few at bats where he's not seeing the ball well, he has the confidence now, the presence of mind of when a pitch shows up that he ought to hit, he's not missing those. That's a little spinner that came right up. He doesn't know what he's going to get, but he recognized that one. I know what to do with. That's just going to sit there and spin, and I'm going to nail it down the left field line.
A double for Plouffe. Rosario, the batter, already has 2 doubles. In a pop fly down towards short left field. Gregorius made a jump for the ball, had the ball in the glove, it bounced out for a double, and then Rosario smoked the first pitch he saw in the 4th inning into the right field corner for a double. Strike 1.
The erratic thing about trying to hit the ball up the middle in the opposite field, and not so much here for Rosario as a left-hander against a right-hander, but for right-hand hitters against a guy pitching away and throwing a lot of those cutters, is if you're really trying to hit the ball up the middle and the other way, you stay on the mistakes better. And that's the advantage. You know, you might get a pitch inside from this guy, but the chances are you're not. There's a much greater chance that you're gonna get something out over the plate. So you might as well just look for it out there.
Rosario got one on the inner half, reacted to it, and pulled it to right for a double. 1-1.
But it was more a ball that started in the middle of the plate and kind of that cutter action came into him a little bit. Aaron Hicks the same way.
Pineda really is being deliberate here in the middle innings. That was the longest 1, 2, 3, 5th inning I've ever seen a pitcher. Bauer with an 11 pitch at bat.
One of the things that Paul Molitor has brought to this team, and you mentioned earlier about moving guys over from second to third with nobody out, but you know, Paul's a little bit different in that regard. There are lots and lots of times when he says trade places with him. Go up there and hack. You hit it. If somebody hit a double, you hit a double too.
A bouncer to the right side will advance Plouffe to third. 1 down. That'll bring up Hicks. Join us August 2nd for a Super America Knothole Kids Day. The Twins taking on the Mariners. The first 20,000 fans get a Twins cap presented by DQ. Go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets. Get your tickets today. Now the infield in for Hicks. Had 4 men in scoring position in his first 3 at bats. Drove one in his last time up with a liner that nearly sailed over the head of Beltran. Already trailing 5-0. The Yankees bring the infield in. Ball 1.
Bring the infield in here because with only 3 innings left to score runs for the Yankees, they can't afford to give up a cheap run just with a ground ball to second or short. So they have to try to cut off the run if they can. No more run. They just don't want to have a 6-run deficit now. They want to keep it at 5. Give themselves at least that chance in the last 9 outs.
1-0. Two and 0. One final of concern to American League Central fans. White Sox beat Corey Kluber and the Indians 6-0. Last year's Cy Young Award winner Kluber is now 5-11.
That's hard to believe.
Plouffe at third. Hicks trying to bring him in with 1 out.
Well, you're right, Dave. Pineda has just brought this game to a screeching halt here. I think he's tired. I think he's kind of running out of gas here.
His 90th pitch of the night. Three and 0. Suzuki on deck.
Just will continue to try to hit the outside corner with those cutters and little breaking balls. Twins have done a really nice job of laying off for the most part, laying off the pitches on or just off the corner and getting balls in the middle of the plate they can handle.
Strike. I timed it from the time he got the ball back from McCann till he delivered the next pitch. It was 25 seconds.
Well, he's going to take full use of the time he's allotted.
Mark Burley would have thrown 5 pitches in that time.
That was wonderful to watch Santana pitch that quickly yesterday, too.
3-1 to Hicks. Little roller backhanded by Drew. 2 down. That'll leave the leadoff double by Plouffe in the hands of Kurt Suzuki.
And that's where the better aggressiveness from Aaron Hicks worked against him right there. He's got a 3-1 count. And I guarantee you that wasn't a 3-1 pitch to swing at. That was more of a 2-strike swing. If you're going to swing at that pitch, you might as well let it be 3-2, not 3-1. Get a ball you can absolutely hammer when you're hitting 3-1. If you don't get it, just take it, even though it was a strike. That's not the swing he wanted to have. 3-1.
Pineda's been good, but not tonight. Twins deserve some credit for knocking him out in the 6th. Singles, part of our Grand Casino story of the game.
Miguel Sano got him started in the first inning, blasted a 2-run home run onto the grass in center field. Kurt Suzuki in the very next inning would single home Andy Rosario, who had doubled. The Twins were up 3-0. In the 4th, he would do it again after Trevor Plouffe had singled and Rosario doubled again. Suzuki would knock a run in. Aaron Hicks also had a sacrifice fly that inning to make it 5-0. And Phil Hughes has been terrific through 6 innings.
Suzuki with an RBI single in the 2nd, again in the 4th, and now here's an opportunity again in the 6th with Plouffe at 3rd and 2 down.
Brandon Pinder, the new pitcher for the Yankees, has been in only 10 games so far, effectively to this point.
And Suzuki, it's a breaking ball down and away, a cutter.
Not a great year for Kurt as far as he's concerned, average-wise, but he's a tough out. And he's been really good with runners in scoring position. Very valuable.
And there's a strike that shaves the outside corner.
You don't know what you're going to get in terms of production from Kurt Suzuki game in, game out, but you know you're going to get real tough at bats almost every time. That's what the Twins, Paul Malder, like about Suzuki so much.
2-1. Of course, last year he was so good at that too. He was one of the better clutch hitters for the Twins. I know that's been one of the frustrations for Kurt. His overall numbers far cry from what they were a year ago.
I don't think he hasn't contributed some really big hits in big situations this year.
Tapper to short. Gregorius has it come up on the heel of his glove, and the Twins waste Plouffe's leadoff double, yet still lead 5-0. We have selected the Data Strong Fan photo of the game. You can tweet your strongest fan photo to #NorthDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Jamie Hirsch, Roy Smalley, Dick Bramer here, bringing you the opening game of this 9-game homestand. First of 3 with the Yankees. Will lead things off in the 7th. Phil Hughes has been very good as Irvin Santana limited the Angels in terms of hits and then limited those hits to being singles. So too Phil Hughes has done that tonight. McCann with a bouncer to first and a fly to center. You know, it's almost as we've seen more teams, certainly the Twins, use more shifts. It's almost an exception now to see what used to be the standard infield alignment. At least with this Yankee lineup and all the left-handed hitters that they have tonight, we've seen, I'm guessing more often than not, 3 infielders on the right side of the infield than 2 and 2. And now with the count 2 strikes, Santana moves to a more conventional shortstop position. You must have done that some in your career as a shortstop, but would you have enjoyed moving back and forth as often as shortstops do now?
I would have if you had shown me that that's where the ball was hit on the ground. Then absolutely, I wanted to be standing over there in front of it. And I did a lot of movement. I didn't have great natural range. I used to say as McCann strikes out on a really nice changeup from Phil Hughes, and I'm going to interrupt myself. That's been the difference for Phil Hughes today. Real hard hit balls in the first inning, a lot of fastballs. About this midway through the second inning, he went to curveballs and changeups, and it's been a different looking Yankee lineup against Phil Hughes after the first inning, or about midway through the second inning, excuse me.
And now Beltran. But it really impacts, you know, what your job description is if you're a shortstop or even a third baseman. You've got to be more nomadic. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
I mean, you've got to move around the infield quite a bit.
Yeah, more geographic, that's for sure. And you know, I used to say I had all my range happen before the pitch was thrown. And I moved around, you know, more than most any other shortstop, just based on what I thought my pitchers were going to throw and where I thought the hitter was most likely to hit ground balls. And there's another really good curveball. Another example of what we're talking about there from Phil Hughes. But one of the things that the new technology has done is to show that when guys hit the ball on the ground, they may hit the ball to the opposite field in the air, but when they hit it on the ground, good changeup.
One off-speed pitch after another, and Hughes is cutting through the Yankee lineup in the 7th.
Yeah, they just can't believe it. They just don't really believe he's not going to be the fastball cutter pitcher that he's always been, and he's making them look silly. First with a breaking ball, and now the really good changeup that Beltran just knew was going to be a fastball when he saw it out of his hand, and it turned out it wasn't.
2 down in the 7th, and now Headley.
Anyway, just to finish that thought, Dick, what they're seeing now is when guys hit the ball on the ground, it's going to their pull side. And they may not hit everything to their pull side, but if it's on the ground, it's going to be to their pull side. So there's no reason not to play 3 guys over there.
Man alive, Phil Hughes has 2 strikeouts in the 7th, and now with 2 strikes, Plouffe will move over.
Put the shortstop with the most range over there as the only guy on the left side, and move the third baseman over where he doesn't have to move any more than he usually does at third base, pretty much. But that swing and miss right there by Headley on a fastball inside is a great example of what looking at all those breaking balls and changeups that they're not used to has done to these Yankee guys. Because if Headley hadn't seen all that other stuff, he wouldn't have been so late on that fastball. And a really good try, a good idea by Suzuki. You saw the wiggle fingers. That means I want to change up here. If that ball had been another 8 inches, 10, 12 inches higher, I bet Headley would have chased that one too. Just he's beat on the fastball, and then he gets a changeup. He doesn't know what's coming. He wants another change right here.
And it's lined into right field between Mauer and Dozier, a 2-out single.
2-strike changeup strikes are tough. Guys are waiting a little bit longer because they have 2 strikes, and so the ball changeup in the dirt might get him to chase, but a changeup right here, that one is not going to get most left-handers out because they're waiting just long enough to see it, and the ball's high enough for them to be able to get to it.
Gregorius has hit a couple of ground balls to Santana. Flare foul beyond the Yankee dugout. Tampa Bay beat Baltimore. The Orioles have now lost 15 of their last 20. That bad stretch actually started here at Target Field when the Twins swept them.
Yep. Anyway, to finish off and hopefully not belabor the shifting, if I'm playing shortstop and you show me that a guy's going to hit 99 ground balls out of 100 to the right side, I'm moving over there.
Rocketed foul, ball boy deflection. But really, when you think of it, you mentioned it, or you classified it as technology, but there isn't anything technical about it other than the fact you can retrieve that information quickly and more extensively, I guess.
Well, let me tell you the difference. When I was playing, we had charts on hitters, and there were little diagrams of the field, and for every hitter, the pitcher the next day's pitcher would track what the pitch was and where it went, whether it was on the ground or in the air. And so I would go in and I'd look at, against Dave Goltz, this guy hit this many balls on the ground, and they were all in this place, or they were all,
Right.
And so I would have to look at that. Now they've got computer printouts.
Flip to left, and Rosario plays it on the first hop, a couple of 2-out singles.
Now they have computer printouts of everybody in the league against every pitcher that is just available. At your fingertips, and you look at much more extensive, not just what your guys did, what guys did against your pitchers, but what these same guys that you're going to play did against everybody in the league. And against everybody in the league, if they hit 100 ground balls and 80 of them were over there to the right side, then guess what? We're moving over there.
Right, right. A couple of 2-out singles. The Yankees did this in the first inning, but left the runners aboard. Hughes here going after the number 9 batter, Stephen Drew. Missing inside with a fastball, ball 1. Looked like Hughes was on the verge of striking out the side in the 7th inning, but with 2 strikes, Headley lined a single to right. Gregorius just hit a little chip shot in front of Rosario. On the ground, Dozier has it go under his glove. Hunter Chargers are going to hold the runner at third. 3 2-out singles from the bottom 3 hitters in the Yankee lineup. That'll bring up Jacoby Ellsbury.
Well, fastball's just got an awful lot of the very middle of the strike zone. Dozier makes a good effort, but it was just beyond his reach. Couldn't quite get there.
Well, the Twins buying some time here. Phil Hughes and Brian Dunsing warming up for the night here. He's got a 5-run lead with 3 straight hits. And if they were all like Gregorius's hit, you wouldn't be too concerned, but Headley's and Drew's hit were hit sharply. No signal given from the manager yet.
And the one thing I think that concerns Mahler right here is that, you know, the 180 hitting Stephen Drew got a fastball right in the middle of the plate. It's like you got to punish that guy. So Paul goes out there and say, okay, how you feeling? And if you tell me you're feeling good, then let's work on this guy. Let's make good pitches, out of the middle of the zone here.
Ellsbury 0 for 3, hasn't hit a ball hard. A soft line drive to Dozier his last time up. And maybe somewhere in there the notion that, okay, look, we'll give you this guy, get him, otherwise we got to make a change. If it wasn't said, inferred maybe. With Gardner on deck. There's a flare to left field, and Rosario comes in. Hughes gets the job done. 7 shutout innings against his former team, doing tonight pretty much what Urban Santana did to his former team yesterday. Hughes gives the Twins 7 shutout innings against the Yankees.
Yeah, really nice job of pitching, and that ball actually another fastball in the middle of the plate, and Ellsbury reacts. I should have hit that one. And Paul Molitor rewarded for his faith in Phil Hughes. That's big for a player, for a manager to not automatically go out there and give him the hook, but to give him a chance to get through the mess that he had created, get through 7 innings.
Tanner rolls down a bunt, and that's a fair ball, and he's thrown out very quickly, 1 down. Santana over 3 in the ball game. We'll bring up Dozier. Dozier 0 for 3. Roller to the right side, fielded by Teixeira in the first, fouled out to McCann in the second, and struck out swinging in the fourth. breaking ball looked like. Strike one.
Yeah, nice tight little curveball right there from Pinder. Late break. Good downward movement. That's a nice pitch.
1-1. Twins with 2 runs in the first, a run in the second, 2 more in the fourth. Had a threat in the sixth, but didn't cash in. Fouled back.
I haven't seen Pinder pitch before until tonight. I'm impressed with his stuff. He's throwing from 94 to 96 and has a good tight little curveball.
The Yankees have had a good bullpen. Drew Miller serving as the closer, 22 saves. Dylan Betances, an all-star. Dozier retired, 2 down.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Torrey Hunter with a single and a run scored in the first inning, since then a grounder to third and a strike. First pitch breaking ball on the outside corner. Tigers and Red Sox going into the 10th innings tied at 1. Justin Verlander making the start. There's a ball drilled to the left field corner and deep.
Stay up.
Gone, a home run. Second home run of the night for the Twins, and it's 6-0.
And you think these Target Field fans aren't getting a big kick out of us putting a whooping on the Yankees? This is fun stuff. Torrey getting what looked like a low fastball and just drilled it.
15th home run of the year for Hunter.
Squared it up perfectly. The only question was whether it was going to stay high enough. And he hit it so hard that it just never, ever came down until it got over the fence.
Strike one to Bauer. Joe 0 for 3. 3 ground ball outs.
Stop swinging a slider.
Inside, 1-1.
You're never 100% healthy. Torrey, look, you see he taped his middle finger and his ring finger together. I think he wrenched one of his fingers in an earlier at bat. And when you're playing big league baseball, the only day you feel 100% healthy, if you're ever there, is the first day of the year. And after that, it's
a grind.
It's a succession of how do I get through today? And Torrey said, well, I'm just going to tape them together and go get them.
Two and 1 to Bauer. I can't relate to what it must be like to be an NFL player on Monday after taking a beating on Sunday. But similarly, I can't imagine what it must be like for you guys. It would seem to me your legs just absolutely take a beating because so much is asked of them 6-7 days a week. 3 and 1. Slap foul.
Yeah, I mean, you gave it the right word. It's a grind. You play 162 games in 180 days, and you're playing virtually every day, and you're wrenching this and twisting that. And to your point, just overall, you're asking a lot of your legs day in, day out. Not just the games, but all the work that you do, getting ready for the games, working on infielding, working on hitting all the time, using your legs, as Tom Bonansky would say.
Ball hit to left. Gardner racing to the corner. That's over his head. And Bauer digs for second. He's got a double. Again, the Twins with some 2-out hitting here. A home run by Hunter, now a double by Mauer.
Well, the Twins do like playing in this ballpark, don't they? In front of this home crowd. It's really fun to watch them have a real decided home field advantage. They play so well. I think one of the reasons is because they have, besides the fact that they've gotten some new players and better players, frankly, and they've had in the last few years, and some of the players they have currently have just gotten that much better. But they're comfortable with the ballpark now. They used to, I think they got in their heads about not being able to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Bruno's got them thinking, well, we'll lead the world in doubles, and those doubles have come, but the doubles have turned into home runs, and they just feel like they can hit here now.
Ball 1 to Miguel Sano. Now 2-0. We've seen him fall behind so many times, and he's at bats now. He's ahead 2-0.
Well, I'm already a little bit excited about what might happen here with 2-0 fastball. I mean, you know, he may not hit it, but I'd sure like to see one. Let's throw on a fastball. Let's just have some fun. Let's see. Oh, a little cutter.
2-1.
When you're 2-0 as a hitter and a power hitter like Miguel Sano, and you're sitting on a fastball, then you see that ball start inside. It's not the pitch that you want. It cuts back over the plate. It's actually a good take. That's not the ball he wanted. Oh.
That was an aggressive swing.
Yeah, he saw the hanger came up there, and it didn't hang quite enough. It had a little late action on it, but he was trying to hit it a long ways.
2-2. Breaking ball down and away, got it. Torrey Hunter with a home run in the 7th, and the lead's been pushed down to 6-0.
Let's go back to May 2009 at Yankee Stadium and a memorable play from Joe Mauer. With a game tied in the 9th, Mauer retrieved a line drive, faked, and dove home to tag Brett Gardner. New York won in 10 innings, but it's a signature play in Mauer's catching career.
I remember that play well, and it remains to this day the most athletic play I've ever seen a catcher make.
I called my dad after that game, and I said, you need to watch this kid play because and you need to try and find that one because it's one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen from anybody, but certainly by a catcher.
And then the mental capacity too to fake the throw to try to get Gardner to come around third base. Brian Dunsing in the ball game. He's got 9 straight scoreless innings going for him. And as the Twins approach the trade deadline, and they might be looking for some help in the late innings with the relief corps, I suggest to you, Roy Smalley, that Brian Dunsing might be one of the more important relief pitchers the Twins have in their arsenal right now. He's been very good in the past. He got off to a slow start, might not have been 100% healthy, but he's come on now and pitched awfully well over the last month or so.
He's pitched very, very well, and there's a good example of why he's so valuable. We have a left-hand hitter to start off the inning, but 2 right-hand hitters coming up after that, and he has been very, very good against both left and right-hand hitters. And for a left-hander to be able to, a manager to bring in a left-hander comfortable that it's not just the left-handers that he can get out is a real luxury. Brian's done a really good job against both left-handers and right-handers. That's good pitching.
Actually done a better job against righties than lefties. Yep. And so he's going after Gardner here, and then he'll face Rodriguez, a righty, and the switch hitter Teixeira. Lifted to left, harmlessly to Rosario. 1 down. Tonight, don't miss Fox Sports Live as they bring you news and highlights from around Major League Baseball. Latest on the MLB trade deadline, a couple of minor moves today, and a former league MVP still looking for his first win tonight. Fox Sports Live is tonight only on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. 1 down, here's Alex Rodriguez. On the ground, hit right to Santana. Sets and fires 2 down. Teixeira will come to the plate. Might be a part of our carsoup.com trivia question. Mantle is easy. We'll go Murray and Teixeira. And we nailed it.
We nailed it, baby.
All right. And so we will take the rest of the weekend off. We got all 3 parts of a 3-part answer. I was talking with Ken Singleton, who was a great player, a great switch hitter, now a great broadcaster for the Yankees. And we're talking about switch hitting, and of course you were a switch hitter as well, and the challenges, and talking specifically about Aaron Hicks, who a year ago had given up left-handed hitting, even though he'd been a switch hitter since age 9. And then I related to Ken this, talking with Chili Davis, who's now the hitting coach for the Red Sox. When I talked with Chili during spring training, he said he had a year like that where he wanted nothing more than to give up left-handed hitting because he didn't feel comfortable in the box at all from that side of the plate, wasn't getting the results, and the batting average was auguring downward through the course of the year. And it was Eddie Murray who said, you just got to fight through it. You've got to find a way. You're not going to feel comfortable, but you might have just one at bat and suddenly something will click. And I suppose you probably went through some stages like that as well.
Absolutely. I was a natural right-handed hitter. I learned to hit left-handed, started when I was 14, and I became, actually through the course of my big league career, a better hitter left-handed. I was off and on better one way or the other for most of my young career until I kind of got established, and after 79 or 80 or so, I was a better hitter left-handed most of the time. And that's what Kenny Singleton was. He was better left-handed than right-handed. I remember that, and I remember him going through some real struggles right-handed, like I did. And it's really true. That's great advice that Eddie gave Chili. I mean, it really is, because you're not going to be able to go just one way after doing it for so long. There's no way that you can stay on the same side of the plate as the pitcher, right-handed against right-handed, for example, and ever be as successful. I don't believe the ball. You don't see the ball the same. The ball moves away from you differently. You just have to fight through it as best you can.
2-2 to the switch hitter Teixeira, who has 2 singles today. Could have had 3 hits, but Mauer sprawled to spear his line drive in the 6th.
Yeah, here's a guy that's been pretty consistent from both sides of the plate most of his career.
Back.
Pretty close to you, Dick.
Just beneath John Flaherty and Ken Singleton in the Yankee broadcast booth. Well, if you believe, as has been said many times, that hitting a baseball, there they are, the Yankee broadcasters, Flaherty on the left, Singleton on the right, that hitting a baseball is the most difficult thing to do in sports. I was convinced of that in high school, by the way. Then switch hitting, I've told you this, I have no idea how switch hitters can do what they do. And then, like Teixeira, hit for power too. Santana from the hole throws off target and not in time, and Teixeira has his third hit.
Well, Trevor was going to have to catch that ball on the dive to have any chance. Danny really nice effort, but really no chance. Joe Mauer makes a nice decision early on to leave the base and run up the line to keep that ball from going toward the Twins dugout. Telling Brian Dunsing he's going to play behind Mark Teixeira.
Here's McCann. Dunston clips the inside corner. McCann 0 for 3, a ground out, a fly ball, and a strikeout. And off the outside corner, 1-1. Out hitting the Yankees 10-8. Drive to the corner, foul, and all 8 Yankee hits have been singles. They strung 3 of them together in the 7th, but still didn't score a run. So the Twins with a nice shutout string here through yesterday's game, so far through tonight's game, and all the pitching staff has allowed have been singles. 1-2 to McCann. Out by Suzuki.
Showed a picture of Kenny Singleton over there in the Yankee broadcast booth. He got to know him a bit, actually pretty well, in an all-star tour after the '79 season. We went to Japan, and I found him to be one of the classiest, intelligent, funny, generally witty, funny guys I've ever known. He's just a wonderful, wonderful guy.
2-2. Runner goes, foul back. We're right here.
Yep.
And they're over there. And right now we're.
I can't get Kenny to look over here.
2-2 to Brian McCann. Runner goes, and Teixeira. Twins weren't even holding him on. Now it's 3-2 to McCann. Give Teixeira credit for a stolen base. Up by 6 runs. Twins had Mauer playing behind Teixeira. Full count with Beltran on deck. So trying to clean up business here in the 8th inning. Missed a 2-out single, now a 2-out walk. And it'll bring up Beltran.
Try to catch the inside corner with a breaking ball. It was an awfully good pitch. Brian wanted it.
Fox Tracks presented by Carrier.
It's the top of the baseball, getting the absolute bottom of the zone, according to Fox Tracks from Bert Blyleven's lexicon. That's an easy strike.
And now strike one. The splits are rather remarkable for Dunsing. Left-handers hitting him at a 297, and right-handers hitting just 208.
That really is unusual. It's hard to believe with Brian Stuff that left-handers are having that kind of success against him, at least batting average-wise.
Bouncer to third. Plouffe with the catch to the bag. The Yankees leave 2 more aboard in the 8th. Deep to center. Going back is Ellsbury to the wall. Gone! A home run for Sano.
In our Medica Sounds of the Game, Miguel Sano got the scoring started tonight for the Twins as they now lead it 6-0 heading into the bottom of the 8th. I'm Jamie Hirsch back at Target Field reminding you that Twins Live presented by CenturyLink is coming up immediately after the final out of this game. We will break down Phil Hughes' dominant performance tonight against his old team, his 3rd start against the team that drafted him, and he threw 7 shutout innings. We'll also talk about the home runs powering the way for the Twins, not the Yankees, who are known as more of a home run hitting club. And of course, we'll go inside the Twins clubhouse and hear from the manager, Paul Mulder, plus some player reaction, all coming your way after the game.
Well, thank you, Jamie. Chris Capuano comes out of the Yankee bullpen to pitch to the Twins in the 8th inning. Plouffe, Rosario, and Hicks will be waiting for him. Plouffe with a single and a double. Ball 1. Talking about Plouffe in the open, and we can say now, I think, that Plouffe has evolved into a very solid major league player. He's tightened up his game in the field. A lot of teams in baseball would take the production at third base that Plouffe has given the Twins.
You bet.
And he's developed the knack for some clutch hits along the way. Didn't have the best of road trips in terms of batting average, but a grand slam for the opening game of the road trip, and then a big 3-run home run yesterday.
And that's what I was talking about in the opening of our show. He has developed the mental toughness and the approach at the plate. Even when he's not swinging great, when pitches show up, that he can hit, he hits them in big situations. Like
that one's not coming back.
Well, that one showed up.
He has a single, he has a double, and he's just hit his 14th home run of the year. 3rd home run for the Twins in the game.
Well, it looks like you got a hanging slider. Yep, little breaking ball right in the middle of the plate. Trevor's good against left-handed pitching. real comfortable with that ball coming into him like that, and he squared it up, as you said, or some of the ball players are saying now, barreled it up. That was all sweet spot of the barrel on that one.
Here is Rosario, and there is ball one. Seventh extra base hit for the Twins. They have 11 hits overall, and while the Yankees have been getting singles, 8 of them, the Twins have all those extra base hits. It's going to hit hard to left. Gardner going back. That's over his head. Rosario has his 3rd double. Bounced, I think, over the wall. Should be a ground rule double. And Rosario with 3 doubles in the game. And Capuano getting knocked around here in the 8th.
Well, Paul Molitor has said that Eddie Rosario just is not afraid. As a matter of fact, relishes the chance to hit against left-handers. Just doesn't bother him at all. And when you throw him something in the middle of the plate, in the middle of the strike zone like this, he's comfortable hitting left-handers the other way. To hit that fastball, we'll remember the first pitch he saw in the big leagues. He hit right in that spot, except over the fence for a home run. So you get a left-hander that is comfortable hitting left-handed pitchers fastballs the other way, then you got a guy that's got a real chance to hit the big ones, and that's Eddie Rosario.
And now Hicks takes strike one. Another at bat tonight, where Hicks is up with a man in scoring position. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes. .37 hits from this side of the plate, but only 8 extra base hits. 4 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs. I beg your pardon. Let me recalibrate here. That's overall. From the right side of the plate, 13 hits and only 3 extra base hits, a double and 2 home runs.
I've always felt, though, if a third of your hits are for extra bases, then that's decent hitting. So 4 extra base hits and 13 at bats, not too far off the pace, being a dangerous extra base hit hitter.
1 and 2. Two and 2. He's had a good day at the plate, hoping for another chance here. Right now, a man in scoring position. 3 and 2.
Good take there by Aaron Hicks. He swung at that pitch with a 1-0 count, cheating on a fastball, but now with 2 strikes, he's taking a look at it a little bit longer. That's a nice take. Now the key is right here, get to 3 and 2, and no longer is that an automatic fastball count in the major leagues. You really have to discipline yourself here. He could still throw anything, and you still have to take a nice long look at it. Of course, long look, this speed is a relative thing, but you do have to wait and see the ball.
Toward the hole, through for a hit, and Rosario's going to be waved around, and he will score.
Good for Aaron Hicks. Nice at bat right there.
Second run batted in for Hicks tonight. Capuano greeted by a home run, a double, and now a single. Still nobody out.
You know, Aaron Hicks has got up with an awful lot of guys on base today. Driven in 2 of them with a single and a sacrifice fly. But the sacrifice fly also was hugely productive because it moved the runner from second to third. So it's almost like he got all 3. He got 3 of the 5 or 6 guys. There's a fastball pretty much middle of the plate. He was able to roll through the infield.
Now Suzuki, pair of RBI singles to center field.
Rosario with a bit of a dangerous but good read on that ball. He was breaking with the with that ball hit in front of him. You're not supposed to go to third with the ball hit in front, but he was anticipating that ball. He thought he saw that ball was going to get in the hole. So actually a very, very nice read the way it turned out. Got Aaron Hicks an RBI.
1-0 to Suzuki. Two and 0. The Twins had a lot of success against Michael Pineda, and now the bullpen has given up 3 runs. Pinder gave up a run on the Hunter home run. A couple more here in the 8th. Popped up center field. Ellsbury waits, and that's the first out of the inning. Follow live Twins baseball every day with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. Stay connected to the Twins all season with MLB.TV Game of the Day, in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, and more. You can browse the app's new features, including StatCast, tracking videos, and bilingual access for Spanish-speaking fans. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. 1 down, 1 on, and here's Danny Santana. He'd like to get his first hit of the night. Checks his swing, nearly got hit by the pitch, and strike 1. You know, we mentioned earlier tonight that the Yankees have almost enjoyed a home field advantage here at Target Field. And going back to the Metrodome days, starting in the 2009 season, and this is not including playoff games. There's Casey Fiend getting loose. Not including the heartbreaking playoff losses here. But the Twins against the Yankees here in Minnesota are just 4-17. They've had much better success in New York against the Yankees, even in the playoff rounds, than they've had here in Minnesota. Santana takes low, 2-1. 2009 season, Twins were swept here in a 3-game series, swept in the Bronx in a 4-game series. So just a win against the Yankees is rare. And now you're staring at an 8-0 scoreboard late in the game. 2-1. Foul back.
Well, if you look at the Twins lineup right now, I think there are enough guys that either by personality aren't cowed by the Yankees, don't believe that the Yankees have any hold over them, or guys don't care. Miguel Sano doesn't care about the New York Yankees and what they've done. You know, Eddie Rosario doesn't care. And I guarantee you, even though Hunter's been a part of some tough losses, he doesn't care either. He thinks they can. He knows they can beat the Yankees. So, you know, rosters turn over, new guys come along on both teams, and it becomes a different deal.
0 for 4 night for Santana with a couple of strikeouts, and now here's Dozier. Dozier 0 for 4, strikeout, ground out, pop up, and another ground out. Slow breaking ball over strike 1. Again, Biggs one out, 1-1. Yankees have 4 left-handed relievers, and at one point this year they had 5. There's Andrew Miller, the closer. Some teams that have a hard time finding 1 or 2 guys, but the Yankees with plenty of left-handed arms.
Yeah, imagine it has a little bit to do with that short right field porch in Yankee Stadium. You know, you get a guy coming out of the bullpen in a bigger situation. If the opposing manager is going to make a change, you'd much rather have him go to a right-hand hitter who, when he pulls the ball, has a much tougher time getting the ball out of the ballpark than a left-hand hitter hitting it to right field.
Two and one. That's deep to left. And there's another home run for the Twins into the second level. The fourth home run for the Twins against the Yankees. 3 of them in the last 2 innings. And if you enjoyed 8-0 from the Twins' perspective, how's 10-0 suit you? Don't throw Brian Dozier.
You don't throw it there to him, do you? A high fastball strike. He has such a perfect swing for that particular pitch. He's just not going to miss too many of them. They don't all go over the fence. A significant number do, but he's going to have a pretty good swing at that pitch.
Hunter takes inside, ball 1. In the 6-game road trip on the West Coast, the Twins scored a total of 13 runs. Now they come home and get 10 tonight.
Well, they saw some pretty good pitching on the road. They really did. And this is the kind of club that's not going to get down on itself. And just because they run into some good pitching and aren't swinging the bats well, they're going to keep grinding. And when this club gets home, where they have a lot of confidence and they're grinding out of bats, they're going to have success. It's a fun team to watch in that regard. These young kids, young guys, they can, and some old guys like Torrey. They do a really good job of fighting hard every at bat. They just keep after it.
1 and 2 to Hunter. 2 gone here in the 8th. Hunter takes up high. I mentioned this before too. 6-game road trip. 3 in Oakland, 3 in Anaheim, and the Twins scored in 6 innings the entire road trip. And they've scored in 5 innings here tonight. Takes ball 3 with Mauer on deck.
And that fact that you bring up is so important to Tom Brunansky, the hitting coach. He really exhorts his guys to add on, to keep having good at bats. And he knows that the personality of the club a little bit is, as you know, Dick, early in games they'll throw up a crooked number. They'll throw up a 4 spot or 5 spot, and then that's the last that anybody does anything.
Headley across to Teixeira, but the Twins get 4 more runs on 4 hits. 2 of them left the yard, and it's 10-0.
How about that extension? And you don't throw Brian Dozier that pitch right there. Just too quick, too level, and he knows what to do with it.
4 of the top 5 hitters in the Twins lineup tonight have hit home runs, including now Brian Dozier and Trevor Plouffe, 5th place hitter. It's the 6th time in Twins history, as Casey Fiend pitches to the Yankees in the 9th. 6th time in Twins history that the Twins have hit 4 home runs in a game against New York. The record is 5 in 1992 when they hit 4 of them in 1 inning against the same pitcher. Nice pickup. Santana wheels and fires. Got him. Good play. Danny Santana to his left, the only infielder over there, and he turned in a good play.
That was a terrific play by Danny Santana, not taking the 0 for 4 out there with him to shortstop. He goes a long way to his left, goes down. Look how quickly he gets into throwing position. That is athletic right there. Watch this. He catches the ball, goes down. Watch him come up on his right foot ready to throw. There's his plant foot when you throw, and throw a strike. That is as athletic a play as you're going to see. Very, very nice.
1 down, Gregorius the batter, and ball 1. Twins, we hope, won't hit in the bottom of the 9th, so they won't tie the record or set it for home runs hit against the Yankees. The ball lifted to short left. Rosario coming in, and the ball gets by Rosario for a bloop double with 1 out. Time now for What's Next, brought to you by Century Link. Tommy Malone will go against another left-hander for the Yankees, CC Sabathia. That'll bring up now Stephen Drew with a runner at second, 1 out. First Yankee extra base hit, and it was a little chip shot that just barely was fair and just out of the reach of Rosario. Shane Robinson in the game, giving Torrey Hunter a break. And I'm sorry, they have given Gregorius a single and charged Rosario with an error. So the Yankees still stuck in a rut of singles. In the dirt, 1-1. Just one other footnote, since I mentioned it. In early May of 1992, the Twins hit 5 home runs against the Yankees, 4 of them in 1 inning. Shane Mack, Kirby Puckett, Kent Hrbek, Randy Bush all hit home runs against the same guy, Scott Sanderson, in 1 inning. Now a hit through the hole to right, and they will hold Gregorius at third. The Yankees, it seems odd to say this, they've got 10 hits. They've all been singles. They haven't scored a run, even though they bunched some of those hits together.
High fastball that Stephen Drew is able to turn on and roll it through the right side. This is what you really don't like. Late in the game, you get a 240 hit in Gregorius and a 180 hit in Drew, and they get base hits, 2 of them now apiece in the last 2 at bats when you're trying to finish the game off.
And now strike 1 to Jacoby Ellsbury. Popped up, it'll reach the seats. Fiend just trying to get the 3 outs here without anything unsightly happening. He's had a tough time doing what Dunsing's done, and that is string together scoreless outings. This one looks like Casey might get on a roll in that regard. He has a bad outing, or at least gives up a run. 2 strikes. It's lifted to deep center. Hicks is going back, and he's still going back, and he makes the catch on the track. A run will score, and the Twins won't get a shutout against the Yankees. Right now, an unearned run on the board. 2 away. Sacrifice fly for Ellsbury.
Pretty good hit by Ellsbury. The ball stayed up just a little bit. Looks like it contact. It looks like a little higher than Foxtrot's has got it there, but good hitting by Ellsbury to get the run in. Way too little, a little too late.
Now Gardner, a single in 4 trips. Red Sox beat the Tigers 2-1, and that means in back-to-back games the Tigers really had to win to try to get some sort of traction to move forward. They got a great start from David Price, and a great start from Justin Verlander, and they lost both games. 1-1. Tigers now 2 games below 500.
See, Houston beat Kansas City 4-0. Casimir went over to his new team and shut down the Royals.
That's one of the reasons I like that move.
Oh, yeah.
Because they will get 2 starts from Casimir before the trade deadline. And, you know, general managers jockey for position and all that, but Jeff Luhnow, the GM of the Astros, kind of striking quickly to get some extra starts from the guy he wanted all along. Houston native, by the way, and he gets his Astro career off to a great start. 2-2 the count. Twins 1 strike away from trimming a game back off the Kansas City lead. Way outside. 3-2. In case he wants a different baseball. Alex Rodriguez on deck. Back to the screen. Casey left that pitch up, trying to finish the game with a 94-mile-per-hour fastball. Fouled away again. Assuming this is going to happen, the Twins are in fact going to eventually win their 52nd game. They won their 52nd game last year on August 10th, and by that time they had already accumulated 64 losses, 20 more than they currently have. To left field, and Rosario should put this away, and the Twins clobber the Yankees 10-1. Tom Hanneman, the Bronx Bombers, came in here with a fearsome lineup and a lot of home run power, but tonight at least it was the Twins who outslugged the Yankees.
Dick, it was a homecoming win for the Twins, who powered their way past the Yankees. 14 hits, 4 home runs, a 10-1 knockout of New York. Up next on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We'll talk about Phil Hughes' performance in this game, the Twins home runs. We'll hear from Paul Molitor, and we'll preview Game 2 tomorrow